Today, I'm going to be reviewing the 2022 movie Beast, starring Idris Elba, to see just how accurate some of the animal scenes are. Let's have a look at the first scene. Okay, so the dude from District 9 is approaching a pride of lions. He apparently knows this pride and knows these lions since they were cubs. This large male is giving him a cuddle. It's not attacking him, it's cuddling him. And you can see it rubbing its face on him. That's to mark its scent on him. It's fairly accurate. Now, just because you've raised a lion or a tiger or any big cat since it was a cub does not necessarily mean it's always going to be friendly. But luckily, these ones are. Yeah, so big cats like lions have never been domesticated, not like tens of thousands of years that dogs have. So even though a lion may be tame, may recognize you, instincts ultimately do take over and can end very badly for the person. But luckily in this situation, these lions are being okay. You can see the lioness up on the rock there. She's obviously not as familiar of him as the males are, so she's kind of like, hey, stay back, stay back. So yeah, that can happen. It's not usual, especially if these lions have been in a wild environment for a long time. They ultimately will lose that tameness and start going back to their instinctual behavior. But we don't know how long these lions have been out of contact with humans. You know, obviously if they're in a wild environment but are still in constant contact with humans, they will keep a little bit of that tameness. It all depends on the situation and the individual lion, so it's okay. The CGI on the lions were absolutely amazing. I've just got to point that out. The CGI is incredible and the lions look ultra realistic, which is pretty cool. Okay, let's have a look at the next scene. Okay, so Idris Elba is outside of his vehicle. He's out in the open. The kids are having a fight. He's not looking too good, old Idris. In this scene, in real life, he's in phenomenal shape for his age. Alright, a lion is chasing him. So this is a rogue lion that has grown a hatred for humans because his pride was poached. Oh, that was close. So this lion has just smashed into the vehicle. Idris Elba got in just in time. It's now on the bonnet. It's trying to come in through the sunroof. It's not a happy cat. See, in your vehicle, you're generally safe. But why have the window open like that? It is trying very hard to get to them. Now, a lion has such sharp claws and are so strong. With only a few claws hooked into your clothes or into your body, it could drag a person out that window, but they've driven off just in bloody time. Okay, so if you're in a vehicle, generally a lion can't really pick out an individual person on a vehicle. They just see it as an entire object. So it's very difficult for a lion to go, you know, there are multiple people on this vehicle or in this vehicle. They just see it as a large moving object. If it's an open top vehicle like a safari Jeep or something like that, and you stand up and, you know, wave your arms around, then they can spot you. But if you're just sitting there and still, generally they don't know that you're a person or an animal on that vehicle, so you're normally safe. It is very unlikely that a lion would attack a vehicle with people in it, because once you're in that vehicle, essentially you're not a single animal anymore. You've just basically disappeared into a large solid object. So I don't think that's very realistic that a lion will smash windows, jump on the roof just to try and get to the people inside. I'm not saying that hasn't happened, but it is very, very unusual. Okay. So Idris Elba is in a wetland environment, and there is the lion moving in the background through the water. So it's wading in the water. He's trying to hide, he's trying to keep quiet, and he's rattling a bunch of bones. You know, when you try to keep quiet, normally that's when you like knock over a big bowl of cutlery or silverware, and now his radio's going off. Yeah, stomp that, quiet. It's caught the lion's attention. This is the part of the movie where you're like, shut up kids, shut up. The lion's interested, and here it comes. Where's Idris? Where's he gone? See, the lion is sniffing the phone there. Now, Idris is up the tree, okay? So the lion's maybe 6 feet away from him. The lion would absolutely be able to smell him up that tree. It would know he's there probably from where it was standing back in the water. They have an amazing sense of smell. So the fact that the lion doesn't know he's right above him is very it's very not real. Like, that lion would 100% know. So this is actually quite accurate, what's just happened there. Okay, so a snake was on the branch, Idris grabbed it and dropped it, it fell on the lion, and the lion bolted. Lions can be very skittish, okay? So if you, I'm not saying this works all the time, but sometimes a lion will freak out. So if something like, you know, scares or gives it a fright, like, they are cats at the end of the day, so they will be scaredy cats on occasion. So that snake falling and hitting it on the back when it wasn't expecting it and it bolted off, that's pretty realistic. That does happen with lions when they get scared. The one thing in this clip that, apart from it not being able to smell him, which is very unbelievable, but the fact that it was by choice walking through water. Now, unlike tigers or jaguars, lions hate water, especially in the wild. They do not like getting wet. They don't even like getting their paws wet if they had to walk through a puddle. They will take the long way around. So a lion voluntarily walking through water just would not happen. Especially in an area where there's crocodiles and hippos, not a chance. So that is a very unrealistic scene of that lion voluntarily walking through water. That just does not happen. Alright, so this is Idris looking very beaten up, trying to attract the lion's attention, which noise certainly would. He's banging around. He's trying to get the lion to follow him. This lion has been through the walls, man. It's been set on fire, it's fallen off cliffs, you name it, and it's still coming after him. Okay. This is where you wouldn't want to be. Out in the open, because you ain't going to outrun a lion. But I don't think that's his plan. And here we go. Boom. Alright, so he's managed to stab it. The lion is mauling him pretty savagely. It's got him by the leg. Idris is throwing a few left hooks there. The lion's dragging him. Lions are incredibly strong. You have no idea. It's looking pretty good. Like, it's, you know, there's nothing standoutish that is super unbelievable. Apart from the fact that all this happening right now would be happening much faster. So that lion would be savaging him a lot quicker. It wouldn't probably be bothering trying to drag him by the leg. It'll be trying to get him by the neck, by the throat. Okay, so now it's ripping into his back. See, it's going for everywhere except the neck, which is, you know, a very common area for lions to grab their prey by. A lion this size, that could be, 250 kilograms, like over 500 pounds. I'll just pause that and then we'll get into that fight scene. So a lion that size would easily be able to grab a guy like Idris Elba, who is a big dude, but that lion would weigh 2.5 times more than Idris Elba. So with ease, it could grab him by the neck and just run off with him, right? Now, if that lion grabbed him by the neck and just ran with him, Idris would have a very hard time trying to fight it off. Just being dragged, the whole commotion of it, you wouldn't be able to really gauge where you're stabbing, what you're stabbing at. You'd just be in absolute panic mode. So the lion wouldn't necessarily be, messing around with his legs or, jumping back, coming back. It would just be absolutely savaging him. It was savaging everywhere on his body except the part where it would end him the quickest, which would be around the neck. But ultimately, it looked alright. Like, if I saw a man getting savaged by a large male lion and this exact scene was happening, I would go, okay, yeah, that looks about right. I wouldn't go, wait a minute, that's unusual. Every hunt is different, every kill is different, so it all depends on the animal, but it's okay. I would have liked to have seen the lion going for more vital areas on Idris, but if that lion was going for more vital areas, Idris would not have survived the movie. Spoiler alert. Okay, so now he's coaxed this rogue lion to this tame pride of lions that we saw earlier on in the movie. And it's a good method because lions are very territorial, and a large male lion coming into the territory of another pride where there are several adult male lions, that is a fight. That's just going to end up in a fight 100%. So let's watch this lion battle. Alright, so it's 2-on-1 here. Two big males versus the rogue, who's also a very large male. And he's not in the best of shape at the moment, mind you. He's been beaten up, you name it, that lion has been through it. But this gives Idris a chance to crawl away. Man, he's messed up. He's messed up. Now he can just sit back and enjoy the show. So ultimately, those lions kill that rogue. So that's an accurate scene. That would absolutely happen in a territorial dispute between several male lions. That lion doesn't have its own pride. Obviously, it was killed by poachers earlier on in the movie. But what generally happens when a male has been kicked out of its pride or forced to leave because it's kind of getting old enough to overthrow the dominant male of the pride, normally they'll go off and form bachelor pride, which is normally just two males. Sometimes they're brothers, sometimes it's just another male that's been sort of kicked out of and left its pride, so they'll sort of team up. So it's not unusual to see two male lions wandering off and doing their thing. This one is a lone male and coming into the territory of another pride. Yeah, that's not going to happen. The pride will not let a large male wander into their territory. So that's exactly sort of how that would pan out. I like it. I think it's a great movie. I think there are a lot of accurate scenes in there. They nailed the lions. They look great. The CGI on them is amazing. They got the size right. They didn't make them stupidly novelty sized big. They were pretty true to what a large male lion would look like. The attack scenes were okay. Obviously a bit overdone. At the end of the day, it's a movie, so they've got to do that. But, in real life, a lion attack is, pretty damn gnarly. So it doesn't really need embellishing, but obviously, big Hollywood movie, of course, you embellish. Yeah, they wouldn't really try to attack and get into a car as much as that one did. But ultimately I think it was pretty good. Now, regardless of whether or not the scenes were completely accurate or not, I think the message that this movie sends is really good. It's a real anti-poaching message that is in this movie, and it's subtle as well. It's like not in your face. You shouldn't be poaching lions, you shouldn't be doing this, which you shouldn't, but I like it because it's subtle. And it kind of shows that, like, poaching lions ain't gonna turn out well for people, right? This is what happens. And the poachers got what was coming to them, they got messed up royally. So that was cool, the lion that its family was killed by poachers, it got its revenge. Yes, it ultimately died, but it took out a lot of poachers in the meantime. So, killing that amount of poachers has probably saved the lives of a lot more lions. So I like that message in this movie. It's not just like demonizing the animals. The animals are like that because of what humans did to them, of what the poachers did to them. So that's really cool. I do love this movie. And I'll tell you something funny. Every time I go to Africa, I watch this movie on the plane. Now, it's probably not the right movie to watch before you go to Africa, where there are lions, obviously. But I like it. I love it. Gets me into that African mode. So what would I rate this out of 10 in the realism scale? I would rate this about a 6 on the realism scale, because they didn't overdo it with the lion, size-wise. The attack scenes were embellished, but still pretty accurate. The behavior of the lion was quite accurate, and also the lions that came to fight at the end, that's something that would happen. So yeah, I'm going to rate this a 6 out of 10 on the realism scale for the movie Beast. Really good movie if you haven't seen it already. I probably just ruined the movie for you with the spoilers, but there are a lot more cool scenes in this movie, so definitely watch it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and comment below which movie you think I should review next. Take care, everyone.